So we are in the fourth week of April, and it's been almost 2 months that the conflict started in the region. So I thought I'll make a video where I want to analyze how the market has shifted, and especially I'm going to focus on the off-plan projects. Most of my investors, most of my clients are currently looking for the best deals that they can get in the market, and they are mostly in the resale segment of the market. I have created a special WhatsApp channel where I regularly post all the original price or below original price deals from the best projects in Dubai. You can follow that channel. The link is in the description. But in this video, I wanted to analyze what are the discounts, what are the special offers that some of the best developers in Dubai are currently offering to the buyers. Because in the resale deals, what mostly happens is that since you're buying from a seller and the seller has already paid some amount to the developer, so your upfront down payment is a large portion. So you should be sitting on a big amount of cash to get those deals. But if you're buying, let's say, in a new project in the off plan segment, then you can start with smaller down payments and continue the payment plan. Now, since the off plan market is so cluttered with so many developers, so many projects have been launched in the past few months, it is very difficult for someone to know which project to choose and which one to invest. So, I personally only focus on those developers that I believe are good for my investor in terms of rental returns, in terms of future appreciation, and in one of my previous videos, which I posted this year, you can see it here. I'll post the link. It was a very long video, and I had analyzed the top 15 developers of Dubai and all their projects that they had launched in the past few years and how they have performed. So I know the market, how these developers, their projects are performing. So I've specifically chosen only few developers that I'm going to discuss in this video. I have actually divided the developers into two categories. So I'll be speaking about the projects which I will say as investor projects, and the other category would be the lifestyle projects. So let me start with the projects in the off-plan segment, which I will say these are the investor projects. So these are basically for someone who is putting in the money for the returns and has no plans to live or use that property. So the first one that comes is Ellington. Ellington, as you know, is a very strong brand. Almost everyone in the city knows about Ellington, and they have created a great market reputation for themselves from their delivered projects so far. So, what they are currently offering is, I would say, one of the best offers on the market. They are giving to the investors 7% guaranteed returns. And this is not something like a scheme or a Ponzi scheme or something like that. It's actually based on the fundamentals. So, what are they going to do is that they're going to take your property for the rental management once it's delivered. They will rent the property to a tenant and they will provide you two rental checks semi annually, and you will make 7% gross ROI return. All you have to do as an investor is to pay the service charges. So, probably your net rental return would be somewhere between 6 to 7%. So, basically, this 7% every year is guaranteed for 5 years for the Dubai projects. And for the Russell Kema projects, they are giving it for 4 years. You, as an investor, can opt out of this offer anytime. Let's say once you have the property delivered and you think that you can probably make even more than 7% gross ROI, you can opt out from this offer and you can self manage. Also, let's say after the delivery, you want to resell the property. This 7% guaranteed return offer will also be transferred to the new buyer, but only for one time. So the next buyer will also get the benefit of this guaranteed return offer. So the projects that they have chosen where they are giving this offer, one of them is in Dubai Silicon Oasis, the Hillgate. Uh, this is one of the best projects I would say in that whole area, because that area mostly have very average projects. That area, Dubai Silicon Oasis is one of the most mature areas in Dubai. A lot of people are living there. They have offices there. The new Blue Metro Line metro station will be there in the heart of Dubai Silicon Oasis. There is already an existing and running Dubai Silicon Central Mall. There are schools, and Academic City is just next to Dubai Silicon Oasis. So this is one of their projects, the Hillgate. Then they also have this project, Belgravia Gardens in Dubai Land, uh, on E311. It's also a very nice project. There are a group of four buildings with very large space for amenities. And then they have chosen this project, the Hill Grove in Maidan Horizon, which is on Russell Core Road next to Shobha Heartland and very close to downtown. And this offer is also applicable in one of their premium projects, which is Mercer House, which is right next to the new DMCC complex near JLT. So, just to give you a rough basic idea how this offer would work, uh, these are the projects. So, let's say in Belgravia Gardens, you have a two-bedroom apartment, and this two-bedroom apartment costs around 2 million dirhams. It's a decent size, 1250 square feet approximately. So, what the developer is gonna do is that they're gonna guarantee a 7% rental for that property for 5 years, and they're gonna give you 140,000 dirhams annually. So for the other project, which is Hillgate in Dubai Silicon Oasis, you can again get like a two-bedroom for around 2 million dirhams. Again, decent size, and they will rent it for you for 140,000 dirhams. So that is a great offer. Like I know the rentals in Dubai Silicon Oasis. And since, as I said, most of the buildings are mostly like very average level, uh, they are able to provide a premium product in a very mature community and give you 140,000 dirhams of rent on a two-bedroom. And then for their project in Medan Horizon, which is much closer to the city center downtown, you can get a one-bedroom and a two-bedroom, a one-bedroom at 2.3 million dirhams, a two-bedroom at 3.3 million dirhams, and the rentals will be close to 160K for the one bed, 230K for the two bed. So I'm on the ground and I know sometimes, it gets a bit challenging to find a tenant to pay such higher rents. But when the developer is putting it on the contract and they are guaranteeing it for the 5 years, it's an amazing deal. I mean, this kind of safeguards your investment. Like we are living in a time of uncertainty and we don't know how the city will progress further, how many people will migrate to the city, what will be the population growth, and whether the rental increment will sustain going forward. We are hoping that the rentals keep increasing so that the investors can make higher returns. But this is kind of safeguarding your investment. You are sure that your property will generate 7% gross ROI. And that is a great number. I mean, it might not look too great. I mean, probably some of the existing Ellington projects are actually giving much better ROI returns. But given the fact that now in off plan, the prices are quite high, and for some of the projects, it could be challenging to get or achieve that 7% number. But the developer is going to manage it and they are just simply going to provide you the check and you can simply sit and get those amazing returns. After LinkedIn, one of its strong competitors that have now really established their brand name on the market. I've actually never spoken about this developer on my channel. This is Imtiaz, and recently I visited one of their ready projects in Dubai Islands. I'll put some videos here, and to be honest, I was quite surprised and I was quite impressed to what they have delivered. I am pretty much confident now, like the people who will be renting there or people who have bought for self use, they will be really enjoying the kind of quality, the kind of furniture that the developer promised, and I've seen it through my eyes. So I believe that this developer has really done it well, the way they have strategized their developments and the kind of crowd they will pull, for the tenants. So Imtiaz has a lot of projects in Island A of Dubai Islands. In fact, we can say Island A is probably Imtiaz Island. So the project that I visited, Beach Walk 1 in Dubai Island, amazing delivery. One of the best amenities in terms of design quality that I have personally seen tangibly in Dubai projects. So most of their previous projects are sold out. All the good units have gone. They have recently launched this project Sea Cliff on Island A. You can get a decent size one bedroom fully furnished for around 2 million dirhams plus, and the beach is nearby. And I think out of so many projects which are launching on Island A, the Imtiaz projects will definitely stand out. That means whenever that area has been developed and there are tenants, whether long term or short term, like whether they are tourists coming or whether they are people who are want to move near to the beach, their first preference for sure would be the Imtiaz projects, because they are providing turnkey solution. They are giving you an option. They are giving you an apartment which is completely fully equipped, fully furnished, meal appliances. Definitely a good buy, I would say, if you are really, really keen on buying a property in Dubai Islands. Then Imtiaz have also entered into where Ellington has launched a lot of projects, which is Maidan Horizon, which is close to downtown and Dubai Design District, close to the Russell Court Sanctuary. So they have this project, Winwood Horizon, and also they recently released this project, the Symphony. I've seen the model. This is designed by Zaha Hadid Architects. So, of course, fabulous design. It's half commercial, half residential. Although I'm not really studied the master plan of Maidan Horizon, and there are a lot of plots. They have also planned some lagoons there. A lot of other private developers are also building there in that area. But again, I would say in Maidan Horizon, it would be the Ellington and Imtiaz projects that will stand out. But let's say you say, Ankit, I am putting my investment. I don't want to get into an area which is still in the very early stages of development, like Maidan Horizon, like Dubai Islands. Then why not JVC? No matter what happens, whether there are less tourists, whether there is less migration, JVC will always have that demand for the people who are working and living in Dubai. For the residents of Dubai, people, especially people who are into jobs, that's the best area for them, very central and affordable. And again in JVC, which was the developer, which had the best, highest rentals, Ellington, right? So I feel after Ellington, again, it will be Imtiaz in JVC, because they have proven with their delivered project in Furjan, Westwood. I think JVC is where, you can be really sure that it can be rented quickly because the infrastructure is already there. A lot of people are living already there. Schools are there, parks are there, restaurants are there. Everything can be delivered there. So one project that they have is Pearl House 4, and you can get a one bedroom here for 1.3 million dirhams. I think it's a great deal again. But now coming to the point of this video, what is Imtiaz offering special in these current times? So what is Imtiaz offering? They are giving you fully furnished units. If you are in Dubai, come to my office. Actually, Imtiaz sales center is in the same building of our company office, and you will get the look and feel of how do they do the furnishings. Then they are giving 4% DLD waiver. That means you can save 4% on the amount that you have to pay to the Dubai Land Department for the registration. Then they are giving 35-65 payment plan. This payment plan I had never seen before from this developer, which means that a majority chunk of the investment value you will be paying at the time of the handover, which you probably can mortgage and let the rent pay the mortgage. For few of the projects, they are giving 40-60, and for some, they are giving 35-65. Plus, for a couple of their projects, I think the one in JVC, you can get additional discounts as well. And then I'm going to speak about Aldar. Aldar, I have already spoken a lot on my channel. I'm really working on their brand new communities that they are making in Dubai, Heaven and Athlon. But this project, which is currently on offer, is the Wilds Residences, which is in the Wilds community. So the Wilds community is on E311, just next to Al Barari. Actually, it's one of the most premium communities of Aldar, more premium than Heaven and Athlon. and they recently launched the apartment buildings in that community. So it's a great option for an investor, because I believe these apartments will definitely have a strong rental demand because people would like that location, its connectivity to the city. Also, you will be part of a bigger ecosystem, a bigger master plan, where you have very high end villas. So as a tenant or as a resident of the residences, you will be able to enjoy all the amenities that people from the townhouses, actually they don't have townhouses, that the residents of the villas will enjoy. So it's actually a win-win for the apartment residents because they are paying for the price of an apartment, but they are able to enjoy the amenities and the infrastructure which is probably meant for the bigger units, the villas. So what Aldar is currently offering is a 4% DLD waiver on the apartment project in the wilds. Moving on, so I discussed three developers in the investor category. Now I'm going to speak about some of the projects which I believe are from the lifestyle perspective. Why I am putting it separately? Because I believe in this category, the way the developers are designing the development, it is actually meant for someone to enjoy those facilities. And that is why there is a higher ticket price. So people would preferably want to invest in these projects if they are actually looking forward to live in those projects. So the first developer in this category is Beyond. Beyond has established their name recently in the last couple of years. They have launched amazing high grade apartment buildings. So what they have is Paso, which is on one of the last plots in Palm Jumeirah. Then they have Solever, which is in one of the central prime plots of the new master plan on the tip of Dubai Maritime City. And then they had recently launched a new master plan close to Al Marjan Island in Russell Kema, the Evermore, and they had recently launched one project there. So, on these three projects, what they are offering to the investors currently is a 40/60 payment plan. Earlier, they were giving 50/50 payment plan, but now they are giving you an opportunity to leverage a much better payment plan so that you can enter into these projects. I believe the way their development team is doing their work, I think in the future, these projects will be one of the best projects to live and enjoy the Dubai life. And why I'm saying this? Because as you must be aware that Beyond is a sister firm of Omniat, and Omniat is the developer who has delivered the best of the best waterfront projects in Dubai and some of the most luxurious buildings in Dubai. So from that experience and that legacy, they're gonna continue and build these projects under the Beyond brand name. So if you are someone who is looking or who was always dreaming of the perfect luxurious waterfront development, I think they don't have any competition. Honestly, I've seen other developers also launch on the waterfront, but the way they design their floor plans, the way they have designed their amenities, it is to another level. And another developer that I want to discuss here is Majid Al Futtaim. So Majid Al Futtaim, it's such a strong firm with established businesses in Dubai already, and they released their first master community, Tilal Al Ghab, where probably majority of the investors made great returns, and also it's a strong end user driven community and people like living in Tilal Al Ghab. So their next master plan is Gulf Foods, in Dubai land next to Global Village. And what we have seen on ground is that most of the people who are buying in Gulf Foods are the ones who want to still live in an apartment building they enjoy, but they want bigger sizes, they want better quality, and they want greenery. That is what Gulf Foods is providing them. And in fact, it is probably one of the unique few projects that probably giving that whole ecosystem. So in Gulf Foods, they have launched a lot of projects. Recently they had launched Marvel Residences, which was a more premium apartment project, and in the future they will be releasing a Majid Al Futtaim mall as well within the community. So it is perfect for an end user and even for tenants as well. So they have this project called District, and they have recently released two buildings of this particular project. And in this project, what the developer is currently offering is a 2% DLD waiver, which was never there before, and a 40/60 payment plan. So they have changed the payment plan and made it easier for someone, who is probably want to live and probably also want to take a mortgage, take bank financing. So he can take bank financing on the 60% payment on the handover, and this offer is only valid for the 2 bedroom plus category of units. So these were the developers I spoke about. And then, of course, you have the mass market developers, the big players, the big private players who launch a lot of projects, and they do sell as well. So I'm talking about your the Mac, Shoba, and Bingati. So they are also giving special offers. So what the Mac is currently giving is they are giving a 4% DLD waiver all across their projects, even for the townhouse projects as well, like the Mac Islands. And they are giving a 50/50 payment plan on the apartment projects. Then you have Shoba. Shoba is currently giving 2% DLD waiver, and they are giving a 40/60 payment plan for all the current Dubai projects. So they have a lot of projects, and these developers, they have very strong brand pull internationally. A lot of people know about them. So that brand definitely works, if you have to resell, rent. So most of the people know about the developer. So they are easy, they are more comfortable. And then you have Vingati, who has become such a big developer now. For sure, they are recently on a launch their first townhouse and villa community in Dubai. So what they are currently offering is that they had recently launched this luxurious development called Mercedes-Benz City in Nadal Shiba, and they are giving 10% returns during the construction period till the handover. So that is one of their offers. And for other projects, for their other apartment buildings, in multiple areas like Al Jadab, JVC, Motor City, they are giving extra discounts if you go for an accelerated payment plan. So these are the offers from the big private players. So that's the roundup from all the big developers. In this video, we got to know like what are the special offers currently that you can avail as a buyer in the off-plan segment. Of course, if you are looking for significant distressed deals, very hard to find. Honestly, we are trying day and night to find real distressed deals in grade A projects. So for those resale deals, you can follow my WhatsApp channel. You can scan the QR code here, and daily I post some great deals that we come across or my team comes across. So as I said, for those resale deals, you would require a much higher down payment. But if you have that cash, you can definitely get probably in some deals some great discounts, and you'll be able to enter some top tiered developments. But nonetheless, if you still want a full payment plan and you want to leverage the ongoing special offers from the developers, then we can sit down and we can discuss what are the best options currently in the market. As I said, and I always say, my first priority is that my investors get the best projects so that there are no future complaints, and they give me referrals in the future, or we do more business in the future. So your interest is always on top priority, and we do our best study to figure out which is the best development, which is the best developer, which is the best unit, and which is the best offer, which actually makes sense. There are a lot of the private developers, which I have not mentioned in this video. Probably they are giving much better or bigger discounts, but sometimes it is not always about the discount. It is also about the development, whether that project is worth it, worth the price, worth for putting the monies for future returns. So you can always contact me, and we can build a strategy where as per your cash flow requirement, we can choose whether to go for a great resale deal in the market, and there are some great resale deals, or if you should be entering into a new project, keep a longer time frame, and pay small installments. So get in touch with me. My number is on the screen, and me and my team at Experience Realty would be happy to help you. This is Ankit signing out.